Moving on here to minimum wage news. Janet Yellen backs CBO minimum wage study maligned by the White House. So this is a very rare occasion where the Federal Reserves, the real government of this country, disagree with the fake government, the puppet government, the executive administration. And so this report out of the Washington Examiner goes on to say that Janet Yellen lent credence Thursday to a Congressional Budget Office study of the minimum wage that White House economists had criticized for its finding that an increase favored by President Obama would cost 500,000 jobs. The report goes on to say that by raising the minimum wage from its current $7.25 to $10.10 and indexing it into inflation would raise wages for 16.5 million Americans and lift 900,000 Americans out of poverty. But on the other end of it, it would also cost 500,000 jobs. And so we know that a minimum wage increase is what is actually needed in this country, but to keep pace with inflation, because wages have not kept pace with inflation, and so everyone is just barely scraping by living on minimum wage, but it's going to cause the lowest skilled workers who are hanging on to that job to lose their job. Mm-hmm. And that's from the Congressional Budget Office. Stuart?
Yeah, small business owners are going to be hurt by this, and just people in general are going to be hurt by this because people will lose their jobs. Perfect example, I work for a small business. I don't make minimum wage, but I don't make much more than minimum wage. I work hard, I work full time, and my boss is not going to fire me. Instead of hiring someone else if she needs more workers, she's just going to pay me more to do double the work. That's what's going to happen. People are going to pick their best employees, and they're probably going to offer them a small wage increase because their wage is losing value because of the minimum wage. I make a certain amount. If the minimum wage goes up but I don't get a raise, then my dollar has been devalued, my purchasing power has been devalued. So people that care about their employees, small business owners, they're going to cut the ones that aren't producing, and they're going to give raises to the ones that deserve it. And yeah, they're not going to have the extra cash to pay for someone who's worth minimum wage already. They don't have the money. And Janet Yellen, she has to agree with this report because it's true. I mean, it's undeniable. So she would sound crazy and already look like an absolute fool because she just took the Federal Reserve Chairman spot, I think, less than a year ago, right?
This year she was disappointed, yeah.
This year. So yeah, I mean, and like you said, the fake government is pushing the minimum wage while the real government, which is also completely manipulative and evil and runs the real show, is actually saying, no, it's going to destroy jobs. People are going to lose their jobs. So it's such a mess. But the minimum wage argument, I mean, he wants to raise it to $10 an hour from $7, the national?
$10.10. The national federal minimum wage law now is $7.25, and they want to raise it to $10.10.
And it's going to raise prices of everything once they do that.
Because the consumer will absorb the cost.
The consumer, the business owners will absorb the cost. Of course, prices are going to raise. So you might get a small raise, but you're going to pay for it anyway in food and in consumer goods, anything. It's all relative. So yeah, I mean, it's like this. If you print someone $1 million, if you print everyone $1 million, well, then the price goes up by $1 million. I mean,
because there's that much more money in circulation.
Well, if something costs $5, well, it's going to be $1 million and $5. It's going to be $1 million and $5 if you print everyone $1 million. See, but people don't understand that because it sounds like such a good argument to help people get a higher wage when they don't realize that it's actually it's destroying your purchasing power and destroying jobs in the process. But that's a whole nother, it's hard.
It's another piece in the puzzle of the global collapse.
Yes, exactly.
That they seem to be hitting us on every single possible angle.
Yeah.
Moving on here, police state news. We're living in a science fiction movie here now. Israeli commercial jets will soon be firing lasers. And so this is an article of Wired magazine, and it says Israel's Ministry of Defense announced Wednesday that Sky Shield, where have we heard Sky? Oh no,
Terminator.
we heard it was called Skynet in
Yeah.
Terminator, right? But now the Israeli Ministry of Defense has a system in place called Sky Shield, developed by Israeli defense contractor Elbit Systems to go ahead and combat these shoulder-mounted missiles that the terrorists who they're fomenting are going to attack them with, which, by the way, the United States gave Al-Qaeda 10,000 shoulder-mounted rocket launchers in Syria. And so I don't blame them for wanting these lasers on their commercial jets, because Al-Qaeda is going to attempt to shoot them down. But that is where we're at. They got lasers on commercial jets in Israel to help fight the fake war on terror that Israel and the United States and the rest of the West have created. And so there you go. We could probably expect them to be on shooting us here soon with lasers.
Like Sam said, we're living in a science fiction film. Listen, all the movies that come out, and I see more and more movies come out that look more like what we're actually seeing. Movies from 20 years ago look like today.
They're calling it Sky Shield.
Yeah, and so I would be conscious of the plots in movies and what kind of things occur in movies, because where do you think they get these ideas? I mean, we're talking about lasers, laser beams. I mean,
acclimate us to accept the police state.
Yeah, and so we need to start accepting that these technologies are out there, they're real, they're being developed, and the government,
people with lasers.
And the government's like 40 years ahead of when they allow something to be on the market, and so we need to be, they're going to start, it's going to be Star Wars, the movie Star Wars soon, So we need to start realizing that. I mean, we FaceTime people across the world. Can anyone explain to me how you do that? No one can explain it to me. So that technology just right there that we have in our pocket, of course they have lasers and they have crazy technologies that that seem unbelievable, but they're not. They're real. So.
Yeah, we're going right into the scientific dictatorship, and they're coming out with lasers to go ahead and shoot terrorists that they foment. You want to cover some of your stories, Stuart?
Let's see what we got here. Well, I guess we could talk about how Google is, Google and Yahoo and Apple and Amazon, Facebook, they're all buying up major companies. Like Facebook bought up Instagram, Amazon has been buying companies, Google bought YouTube. It's these major companies that they're trying to consolidate into basically their own personal, data system where they can manipulate the population. I mean, Facebook sells data to companies for, a certain amount of money. We put our lives on the internet now. So anything we search, anything we post, it's being tracked, it's being documented, and Google is, buying all these artificial intelligence companies for, $500 million here, $500 million there, $1 billion there, buying them all up. And one of the heads of Google is Ray Kurzweil, who's basically stated he wants to merge with machines. I've read the articles. He wants to merge with machines to become immortal. So we know
your consciousness to the Matrix.
And the movie Transcendence that's coming out with Johnny Depp is that exact plot line. Transhumanism, and they're going to try to promote that like it's cool. Google Glass is already starting to be banned, you can tell, which is I'm happy with, because in San Francisco there was an incident at a bar, I believe, where someone was wearing Google Glass and they were recording. You could see that they were recording people, and people were upset that they were being recorded, and because they didn't want to be. So when you see people with Google, and the bar actually banned Google Glass. There's a sign outside their place that says you can't come in wearing certain glasses, of these devices on your face. And I think that's a good sign because it's creepy. I've seen people with Google Glass. They look like okay, well, what's next? Are you just going to be a cyborg? Are you going to be the Terminator? Are you going to, I know you have facial recognition, apps that can scan me and tell me and possibly match me up because I have a Facebook. So, and so it's very scary. It's the technology is amazing, but
Obama said they're funding the Iron Man suit.
Yes, and I read that as well. They're funding that, yeah, for our military. They'll always try to make it cool and trendy and make it seem like we're trying to use it for good, but really, it's the Iron Man suit is they're just trying to phase out humans.
Yeah.
They're going to just have robots instead of actually having soldiers that have conscience, that have morals,
is this a constitutional order?
Yeah, exactly. Because robots will just, if they're given a certain order, they'll
follow whatever the program says.
They don't have a soul. So it's very scary technology. And with guys like Ray Kurzweil, who head up Google, the guy, when someone's a bad person, when they think that they can live forever, they don't acknowledge their creator, that they've came from something. They think that they can become a god. That's such a narcissistic, evil attitude to have because you're just unappreciative. That means you don't care about humanity because you're willing to sell people out. You're willing to do anything you can to have your utopia. And Ray Kurzweil is a bad guy, and he's one of the heads of Google. So when they're buying up all these artificial intelligence agencies and companies that make robots that eventually, it's been said that they'll basically be smarter than all of humanity combined, which is crazy, but I guess it's a realistic thought because, think about it. We can Google anything. Google is a massive brain, and it has so much information, and technology is just moving at such a high level that, yeah, robots will be able to outsmart humans eventually, and we don't want that because we like being alive and we like living. So we need to watch out for that. Keep an eye on Google Glass, and I suggest when you see someone that wears Google Glass, just make fun of them. I feel bad saying that, but those are the type of people that are they are so out of touch with reality at the damage that it's doing, basically having the internet plugged into your face all the time. So why even talk to anyone? And you see young 2-year-olds on YouTube that want their iPad, 2-year-old kids that want an iPad because they don't know how to function without playing their game on the iPad and being entertained. So that's going to destroy the future generations, and it's going to destroy humanity. So do you like having a soul and interacting with humans and having a life? Because if you do, then you need to distance yourself from these kind of things like Google Glass. Anyway.
That's right. We're going into the scientific dictatorship and the singularity that the transhumanists speak about, and they want to become gods and upload their consciousness to the internet and live forever, and they want to make us all go along with it, and the ones that don't, I guess they just want to kill off. And so, but we're going to stand up and say, no, that's wrong. That's against all of creation. And we're out of time here, folks, but we need you to take some personal responsibility, speak out, speak to your loved ones, and start taking some action in your life for the good and help your neighbors. Stuart, do you have any last words?
Yeah, I agree with that. Start caring about people. Don't care about your smartphone. Care about people, because that's what's really going to save us. Me and Sam, we don't get paid to come out here and do these reports. We do it because we care about our future. We care about humans. We love humanity, and the best creators are humans. So I don't want robots that create other robots. I want people to create things and to innovate and be the future. I want humanity to be the future because we have souls, and that's all I got to say about that.
All right, peace, love, and liberty. Good night. We'll see you next week, folks.